All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are playing Fragged Empire tonight. People just realized the average age for their characters, which might change some things. Kilth, we thought was an old man, but maybe he's not as old as we think he is. Apparently met Dr. T when Dr. T was just a tiny little
Baby.
Nephilim zygote or whatever the heck their brood looks
It
like
just
in the
means
beginning.
both Maya and I look at Kill as a father figure.
Oh no!
Ooh. There's something about Dr. T's face. Just that's interesting. He's got a very big masculine forehead. What's that about? Oh goodness! Just like I'm just gonna rip off that Bard story.
Kill's just been sowing his oats across the universe, and it's all come back.
It's all coming back. All right, so we're playing Fragged. We're back tonight. We left off on a little bit of an emergency. We'll pick up pretty much right where we left off. But before we do that, why don't we go ahead and do some introductions the way that we've come to do them on Fragged. So we've done it so many times. I don't know who's done who yet. So I probably should have gone back at some point and tracked this. But Joe, could you introduce? Say Kill. Go with Kill.
Okay. Kill is our big Legion tanky guy who I love hiding behind in combat and supporting while he is in front of me doing a lot of damage.
Sure.
He's been a little bit more mobile recently. Curiously, jumping around a lot. Didn't think he could do that anymore, but not sure how that happened.
The walls.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget, you have a +1 until the end of this arc because of the surgery. Right. Don't forget, just a float and anything that it would make sense for in terms of whatever. If you think it makes sense, we'll say it. But yeah, just because of that little fun little twist.
That's so fun.
So, Kill, then why don't you introduce who is responsible for your newfound knees? So tell us about Dr. T, your long lost son.
Yeah. Hard T, Dr. McSteamy, the tentacled wonder of medicine. Oh my God, he's amazing. Granted, he'll try and put stuff in you that doesn't belong there, and his medicine is also scary. But he gets the job done, and when you're in space, you take what you can get. But you've been looking at the facial features a little bit more recently. Some concerns have come to light, but that's okay. Found family, still family.
Such brows, it's not common in Nephilim. Not common in Nephilim like that. Dr. T, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your sister, Maya?
Divine Mocha, my long lost sister. We both have the same papa, and she follows and subscribes, and she talks to this little floaty thing, and she always asks me for pictures of my tentacles so she could help her views or something like that. I don't know. This is Maya. She shoots things.
That's very true. Oh, that's very true. It's nice that the two of you are getting along so well. Sometimes in these types of situations, those relationships can be difficult to navigate, but you guys really adult for your ages. Maya, why don't you introduce us to Jita? We'll see whether or not Jita is part of the family.
Jita is, first of all, I entirely too smart to be here. I'm not entirely sure why she's hanging out with a bunch of degenerates like us, but she is essentially what I think is that we allow her to be her best self, which is essentially a murderous Rainbow Bright. And that's what I think is keeping her here with us. Jita Essence is gorgeous, filled with iridescent beautifulness that will kill you super dead. and that's Jita.
Excellent. That's wonderful. And then, Gina, you know what that means? It means you have to introduce everybody to Zatek.
Yes. So
Checking notes. Which one's Zatek again?
sorry. Sorry, I had a hair in my dice tray that I needed to address clearly before anything else could move forward.
Totally. Way more important.
So,
Quit stalling. Who is Zatek?
Zatek is, I was just looking up, I'm the one that's bringing everyone down, looking up the average lifespan for everyone. And Zhao's average lifespan is 23. So
that's older than Zhou is in real life.
Technically, it's unlimited with food and growth. So, but yeah. They usually go and, they eat too much, they expand too much, they kind of go a little crazy, and then people have to suck them out. That's kind of what happens.
So that's the thing with Zatek, is that he is a bacteria. He is generally shapeless, but he has an outfit and, mask and whatnot that gives him some form. But if you want to eat your leftovers, it's not enough to just write your name on the leftovers and think that Zatek is going to not eat your leftovers, because literally any food that is left out or not out, refrigerated, frozen, whatever, is Zatek's. So you just have to know, if you liked what you ate, you eat all of it or you will not get the rest of it, because Zatek will find it and will finish it for you.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. I had a roommate like that in college.
And whatever it came in.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. I'm going to start sneaking fungicides into leftovers.
What? I mean, he'll be able to
best
adjust that.
Camping buddy. He'll just help you clean up like no one's business.
You never have to worry about bears getting into your trash, because there's no food in the trash.
And we also have 2 new members of the crew. We have Boars, as we all know, and we have Franklin. We have Boars, who is newly mobilized on a Roomba, on a space Roomba, and the ability to communicate with Zatek through his mental capacities and sort of
and
transmit.
he can see a little bit.
Oh, that's right.
Predator
We worked on that in our
vision. He
downtime.
has predator vision now.
You can transmit predator optical vision to old Boars. So you guys are going to regret it one day, I'm telling you. And then Franklin. Well, Franklin's a turtle, and he's in space.
Turtle.
And that's really all there is to say so far about Franklin. Very chill, very very easy guy to get along with, Franklin. All right, so let's start up then. So last time around, you all finally left Miss Pasha. You're carrying the fungal infected Legion to the Cerberus system, which is the home system of the Legion, of which Kill is a member of that species. The Vulp agent provided you all various astronavigational data, a route to go through these different navigational buoys so that you can kind of navigate through this very crazy ley storm that surrounds the Cerberus system. And they also gave you transponder codes to use at inspection points once you get through that ley storm. However, before you actually made it to the Cerberus system, shortly after you initiated your ley jump, when you got all the way out to the edge of the system, edge of the Haven system, the drive inexplicably shut down, and it dropped you all out of FTL too soon. You went a decent ways, obviously, but you did not make it to the Cerberus system yet. Zatek, you were testing out that little X-ray visor of yours. You noticed, curiously, I'm like, wait a second, why are there multiple Dr. T's? As you started seeing a lot of Dr. T's just sort of moving around the ship. And then a few of you noticed some other signs of stowaway, saboteur, that kind of thing. And all of you eventually kind of made your way to engineering, to the jump drive, where you found a pair of Tenebrous Nephilim, which is the same sort of species, the same sort of shape, the tentacle shape as Dr. T. One had just recently escaped the armory after sabotaging the armory, which Kill had discovered, and then the other is apparently sabotage your jump drive. You all managed to kill one, but the other one escaped into some vents. Zatek, you heroically dove down into the chase after, and right as that was happening, you all started to hear these klaxons. this emergency start broadcasting over your ship. And it was basically a proximity alert. And that is exactly where we're going to pick up. So we're going to pick up, however, and we're going to be in initiative. We'll be a little bit looser with some of the specifics when it comes to combat and movement, because this isn't necessarily a map that's entirely precisely accurate. But I'm also going to bring you over to the tactical version of the Posh Chad map, of which you should be able to now see, in which things are a little bit different for you all. So go ahead and switch over so that folks on the stream can see. Now, obviously, you guys know the way around your ship, so that's not an issue. You know where to go, you know where stuff is, so you kind of know the layout. The problem is, though, is that there's stuff going on in your ship, and so we're going to treat this a little bit more structured. Something happens, and then Jita, you are basically next up. So we're just going to do this in initiative. Basically, Zatek, you are crawling through like one of these exhaust vents in the ship. The klaxons are going off. Proximity alert, proximity alert, proximity alert. Your jump drive has been deactivated. And that's where we're at right now. So Jita, what do you want to do?
Jita's going to just sort of be kind of just a bit flabbergasted at the moment, just kind of yelling at everybody like, there's too much going on. There's too much going on. I am going to take care of this proximity. We've got to figure out where we are. What are we close to? And she's going to run back to astrometrics, which she hadn't come like too far out of. Okay. But she's immediately going to go running back in there.
Okay. Go ahead and put yourself in terms of like movement and things like that. Well, we'll basically say while we're on the ship, if it's a small room, one movement will get you across. If it's a really big room, we'll probably say 2 movements get you across. We don't have to worry too precisely about those types of things. Jita, you run into astrometrics and nothing that you can tell has particularly changed. You will say that whatever you were studying, I think you were studying the data crystal, that nav crystal that you had discovered in that coastal facility. You still see that on display. Various, it's probably on some sort of scientific platform. You got little things kind of poking into it. You can see the various images that were embedded within it of the different systems and that seem to correspond to the Mondian Empire, this ancient race that's no longer around. We'll say that's your first thing. What do you then do after that?
So she's wanting to see what she can, in terms of sensors, like what's close by, like how far did they get? Mm-hmm. What are they in proximity to?
I think astrometrics is fair enough. You can do this. This isn't necessarily this isn't the bridge necessarily, but it is astrometrics. You probably do have some exterior sensors. Go ahead and we'll do a roll. So we'll call this a test of some kind. Okay. Is there a particular one you're looking to do here? Astronomy.
Astronomy is my best stat by far. So
okay.
I'll always do astronomy if I can.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll astronomy. Difficulty 12.
Oh, right. That is a 20, and I also have a 6. I also have 2 6s that I can use for some strong hit stuffs.
Okay. Is there something in particular that you have that you can trigger with a strong hit? Because in this case, it's probably just an effort, and you're rolling really other. Okay. So I'll say this: with so many, you went well over. A couple of unexpected consequences. I'll tell you this. First of all, you've traveled a decent ways. You're essentially, you have left the Haven system. So you're like kind of outside of the furthest orbit. If you recall, Lilith was the most exterior planet, and you are well bonded. Like your FTL, it triggered. You're late. It took a couple hours. That kind of triggered, and then you traveled in jump space for some time. It wasn't a long time relatively, but when you were pulled out, you have essentially traveled a significant distance. So you're well outside the Haven system. The second thing that's what you get just for passing. Extra stuff that you'll get because you did so well. 2 things. One, you notice that you seem to be in some kind of, you're not in that major storm that surrounds the Cerberus system, but you definitely can see on your astrometric scanners that there's some sort of like lay eddy out here. There's some sort of small small like storm that's kind of passing over, and your ship seems to be passing through. And then the last thing you'll get for unexpected consequences, because you got 8 over, we'll say one other thing you pick up. You are not alone out here. There's another ship.
Oh, geeks. And so Jita, because I think we established we have comms on the ship, and so she's just gonna very excitedly just say like, "Oh, okay, we definitely we went outside of Haven. We've got some lay stuff around, and that's not going to be easy to get around. And we have company. There's another ship out there."
Okay, so then something happens. And then we'll come over to Zatek and Dr. T. You can go in whatever order the two of you want. Both of you were recently in the jump drive section. I think Dr. T is right at the door to the Arboretum. You're right next to Kill, whereas Zatek, you have crawled down in. You can definitely see that the tentacles of this Nephilim have given it a certain amount of a head start on you in the vent, but you've been chasing after it. So whichever order you want, you guys can kind of throw out essentially 2 things that you guys want to do. What is it? Who would like to go first?
I'll unmute myself and then I will announce things. I'm going to quickly and in a completely unnecessary way clamber over Kill. Because I am going for life support. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I think we'll say you were basically in the doorway, and so moving across will get you in, no problem. You are in life support. I'll say immediately looking in here, you don't notice anyone. It doesn't look as though there's been any physical sabotage in the way that the jump drive was kind of messed around with a bit, and the armory as well. Nothing immediately stands out. And what's one other thing you want to do as you run into life support?
My ultimate goal is to I want to vent all the atmosphere.
Okay. That sounds good.
Kill in Zatek can last forever in space, as we've previously discovered.
Okay. You want to vent it in the entire ship?
Maybe just the jump drive area for now, because that's where we saw him.
Okay. All right. Okay. That sounds good. Go ahead and then we'll say make a computers test. It's just more about speed than it is about like how to do it. It's just a question of whether you can kind of initiate it fast enough.
Yeah.
I gotta look up if Corp can handle.
They cannot.
I didn't think I could.
Jita's in trouble. Maya's in trouble. Franklin's in trouble. Boars is in trouble. Your Arboretum's in trouble. Pretty much Kill and Zatek are fine though.
Listen,
It'll be the
we
basis
only
of the
have
next
to hold
group.
out for a few minutes,
That's
and then
fair.
I'll turn the air back on.
That's fair.
That's an 11, but one of those is a 6. So I'm going to use that 6 to re-roll that one.
Sounds
Hell
good.
Yes.
And
Oh,
that
there you
turns
go.
it into a 5. So that's a number that's higher than 12.
Should be 15, I think. Okay. So, you are able to, we'll say, if that's the case, if that's what you're trying to do, we'll say that happens. But in the process of that triggering, Maya, you will notice that as would normally happen in a case where oxygen, where atmosphere is being vented, you see, and this will be something that Kill also notices, emergency doors close, right? Kind of sort of keeping the actual jump drive separated, so it's not going to get everybody else. So immediately behind Astromestrix, which connects to the jump drive, same thing with the Arboretum, Kill, you both see and Zatek, because you have the same number as Dr. T, I'm going to say you'll get an opportunity to go before the vents close off as well, because they will too. But since you were going at the same turn, depending on what you do, you might be able to get out before anything dangerous potentially happens. So, Zatek, what would you like to do?
I am just trying to chase after this guy in the vents. I'm trying to, my goal is to lasso this guy with my little uplink thing. I want to try and shoot in front of him, snag it to him in some way.
So we'll say one action is to just essentially scramble down and chase and chase and chase. And then as you do so, you hear, and you look behind you and you see like an emergency seal on the vent that you just clambered through has closed. And your second action, we can go ahead and make this an attack. So if you want to go ahead and roll your attack, it's kind of tight quarters. So I'll say take a minus one on this just because it's such tight quarters and you're trying to literally lasso.
Mm-hmm. Is this like a skill test with the thing, or is this like an attack with the weapon where I get the dice and stuff?
Yeah, no, make an attack, like legitimate, make an attack. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll do the sighted shot one then.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Sighted shot, tactical. So I should get. You said it's a -1.
I'll say -1 just because of the correctness of the quarters. We'll say.
Okay.
You can contort your body a little bit, so it's not going to be anything bigger than -1.
Okay. Can I burn munitions on this?
Sure. You said your weapon doesn't have build momentum, right? It has.
Right. Yeah. It's because it's the shock stick reskin. Mm-hmm. It has some munitions. Okay, then, yeah. And all I do is just add to hit. So I'm going to burn
give
one
the roll.
there.
Yeah, and then give the roll and let me know what the total is.
Okay, it's going to be 46 plus 2. 14.
14, I think, is probably fine. Let me double check. It's defense. Yep, 14 is good. Defense of 13. Okay, nice, so nice. then do you have are there any specific effects that it's going to do? Is this just damage that you're doing?
I'm more concerned about like keeping them from moving away from me than I am even about damage. So I'm not sure how that works out, but I'm more just trying to like catch up to them. You would need escaping.
You would want your weapon then. If your weapon has a strong hit option called inhibit, that can be used as like a stun or something. Do you have that built in?
So it's an energy disruptor stun because it's the shock stick. So does that mean like I have to have a strong hit, like a 6 to do that?
You would actually need to put onto the weapon, like there's a strong hit inhibit is what it's called. What you're doing with that, a disruptor would basically deplete munitions. So they wouldn't have like munitions to use. So in this case, what we'll say is like, you definitely hit it. You definitely do damage to it. It's probably just not going to wrap around and sort of keep them too tight. So what kind of damage are we talking about on the attack?
Looks like it does 5 endurance damage.
5 endurance damage. Okay. All right. Not enough to take it all the way down to 0, but I have marked it down. And as it's scrambling on the way, you hear as the vent comes down, you shoot out your lasso, and you see a spark in the vent as it suddenly lights up with the electrical ability of it, and the tentacles just writhe around, and it looks like your lasso is almost about to work, but it kind of just rips it free and keeps itself untethered. But it's just like, you fucking idiot, what's wrong with you? And we'll say that's it for Zatek, excuse me, and Dr. T. Okay. So Joe, I'm going to put Zatek in that hallway between, but you're underneath,
like in the vents.
Yeah, you're literally underneath that. So there is like where that staircase is. It's a way out if you wanted to get out of there. But we'll say that's where you're at for now. Okay. Something happens, and then Maya. It's your turn. Maya, you notice that the emergency bulkhead doors have come down, and you can also see that the emergency vent coverings have dropped. There's no one else in the room here now all of a sudden, and you hear as oxygen seems to be getting vented out of the jump drive.
Right. Okay, well, instinctively, I'm actually really grateful that I'm the only one in here because that means there's more residual there for me to breathe. And my instinct is to look for a way out.
Okay.
I have been kind of agonizing over the map, and as a player, I can't really see anything. I'm hoping that's just like a me knowledge gap.
So
But given that I probably can't go through the vent because I heard slash saw that door slam as well. I'm thinking about maybe is there a way for me to go under the floor, like the grated floor that I'm on right now?
you could, in the room you're in, this jump drive, it's a big room. Obviously, there's two levels. There's the level you're on, and there's the drive level below. In terms of the way out, there are basically three ways out. One of them is towards Astrometrics, which is where you saw Gita go. One of them is towards the Arboretum, which is where you saw Kill and Dr. T. However, those emergency bulkhead doors have slammed shut over top of them, but those are the two ways out. Another way out is to take the crawl space that Zatek just took as he was chasing, which will go underneath the jump drive and kind of goes to the bowels of the ship, and will kind of vent and connect to other places. Now, none of that is going to be an easy way out. It's going to be a roll to try to essentially either mechanics to try to find a way to break through the bulkhead doors, or it'd probably be the best way to go about doing it. I'm not sure how your mechanics is, but that would probably be the role that you would want to do to try to break through the emergency door. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that if you do that, then weird things might befall the next room. That
Right. Fuck. Okay. In that case, because I am sure that Killer Z can handle a lack of oxygen, I'm gonna go through the bulkhead doors, or like that same vent space that he went through.
You want to follow Zatek?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say you crawl down into the vent. When you get into the vent and start chasing after him, you do notice that in the vent itself, there has been sort of an emergency seal. However, you can roll a mechanics test to see if you can sort of jury rig it and try to wedge it open or essentially bypass it and get through it. You're not going to immediately suffocate. It takes time for all the oxygen to leave, so it's not like you're in immediate danger of dying or anything like that.
Sure. I would actually like an audience size for this. I'm at a -2.
That is a good idea, because the difficulty for this will be 14. Yeah, it's going to be a difficulty of 14 in this one.
Remind me how we use audience size in this game. I'm so sorry, I forget.
Floating +1, I think it was, right? Isn't that what we've been doing? Yeah, so floating, you get a floating +1. You just get a +1 bonus to your roll.
Okay. Okay, that's a... Sweet. That gives me a 17 total.
A 17 is enough. You get in there, and we'll say you have...
Sorry, 15. Minus
15 still 15. Enough. Difficulty of 14 was going to be to bypass this. I'll say what you're able to do with a 15 is you're able to bypass the door, but because it's not...
I learned that from Kill.
You get through... Exactly. You maybe you take like a weapon you have, or just have some random tool or a piece of metal that you just grabbed on your way down here, and you just sort of find a way to kind of pry it open. With a 15, though, I will say that it probably still stays open. As that you're like, meaning you're breaking through the seal, but you're not able to kind of reseal it. But you'll clamber through, and you'll see up ahead a little ways. You're probably not all the way caught up with him because you had to stop and pry this open. You'll see Zatek like kind of dealing with what looks like some sort of electrical kind of current thing. But the door, the sealant behind you is now breached. And so there's now even more alarms and various vocal warnings that are now happening as you feel suddenly an expulsion of air move past you, Zatek, as it starts to vent out and back towards the jump drive.
Good thing I don't need that.
Yeah, no one does. Something happens, and then Kill. It is your turn.
Okay. So I've got a plan for diplomacy. That plan is to get to my old man chair in the gunnery cockpit and shoot
Okay.
this other fucking ship.
Okay. So gunnery cockpit is going to be basically all the way to the front of the ship. So
Yeah.
it's going to take a little time for you to get there, but you certainly certainly could. So I would say like basically one action to move through a room. If it's a particularly big room, we'll say 2, but I would say 1 to go from arboretum to mess. And then probably another to go into that kind of interstitial room next to the mess, because going through scanners is probably the fastest way to get there. Okay,
Fair enough.
all right. So
Working these brand new knees as hard as I can.
All right.
Parkour.
So while you're here, though, I'm going to give you a free test. Go ahead and roll awareness. This is free.
I'm
It's
better
not an
at awareness
action.
now.
Yeah.
Right, I've got a
minimum
+2 to that
12,
now.
but the higher you go, if you get higher than that, you might get additional stuff.
All right. 3d6 plus 2, 6, and a 2 and a 2. I'm going to re-roll one of those 2s.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, a 3. Okay, so 9, 11 plus 2, 13.
Okay. What you'll notice is underneath, like there's off kind of down the hall a little bit further, that there's stairs that go up into the bridge/cockpit. And beneath those stairs, there is a vent opening, and you can see that the vent cover has been popped out, and there's like a tentacle that seems to be trying to pull on out. You said 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what you see. So you do see that there seems to be a tentacle popping out of the vent. Okay.
Hey, I'm going to shoot your ship down right quick. And then this is the only ship you're going to have. So you better stop sabotaging it, you stupid piece of shit.
And so you will. So I'm going to go ahead and. Where'd he go? Oh my God, I lost track of him. Where'd he go? All right. So he's going to. All right. So next up is going to be that last to go is going to be that saboteur that Zatek was chasing. So I'm going to do 2 actions with him. I'm going to have him hit you, and then I'm going to have him scramble away. So I think he's going to. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, he'll basically do some reposition attacking, which is something he can do.
See, this way he doesn't attack Zatek.
Oh no, he's attacking Zatek. He's attacking Zatek.
Oh man, I thought I.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna
When I heard you say he attacks you, I was like, oh, good. He comes for me because I taunted him.
reroll that 6.
I have
Or
failed.
Good
reroll
try,
that
though.
10. All right, that is going to be a total of 15 to hit. What is Zatek's defense?
Defense is 13.
Okay, so he does in fact hit. So he is kind of like scrambling away, and he's pulling himself out of this vent. You can see the light from the interior of the ship starting to flood in. But then with one of his tentacles, he just points backwards and he shoots at you with a pistol. So that's going to be it's going to be 2 endurance damage.
Okay.
But I did get a 6 on the roll. So I will do, so I will do. He has like something else he can do. I want to see if it's better to do that or if it's just better to do the critical hit. I'll just do critical hit. Yeah. So we'll have him critical hit you for 3 damage. What's your armor?
Armor is 1.
Okay, so you're going to take 2 points of attribute damage to a random attribute, which is going to be whatever I just rolled there, to your strength. So 2 points of
2
strength
points?
loss as you turn. Yeah, and then
All right.
he will pop
I'm at
out
0.
Oh,
Yikes.
okay. Okay. So then he's going to pop out, and that's when you see him push out fully into the hallway. And he's going to look over at you, And he's going to be like, this is my ships. And he points with one of his tentacles up towards the door for the bridge cockpit. And that's when, Kill, you look over and you see it literally closing and then as if somebody has just gone inside. All right. New round. All of you notice all of a sudden every single room in the entire ship that all of you are in suddenly starts going dark as the lights begin to flicker. And you realize that only these very minor emergency lights and whatever lights you have on as the whole ship begins to kind of go dark at that point. I left little lights on us just so it's easier for us to track everything on the map, but presume everything has just gone dark and there's just an occasional kind of running emergency light here and there. And then it'll be Jita's turn.
And so she's alone, and so she's kind of closing her eyes a little bit and trying to see if she can sort of get kind of some assistance with this from kind of her Farron companion. And she is going to see what she can do in relation to kind of this other ship. Like if there's any like information that she can kind of send out about kind of getting ourselves in the right position to be able to like attack this other ship or...
Your roll was so incredibly good last time that I won't require another one. So I'll just freely give this to you. It's going to be very difficult to shoot them without also blowing yourselves up because it seems that they have coupled with your ship.
Oh. So Jita will share that information over comms of I don't know what's going on over there. Getting information would be really much appreciated. It seems like it's getting a little bit harder to breathe in here, and we're coupled, and problems.
So as the comms go through, everyone hears that, but you can definitely tell that comms are struggling as her communication, his vocal communication gets broken up, and so like every third or fourth word drops. Commonly, those of you with the knowledge would know that it's probably less like it could be sabotage. That's one thing. It could be someone sabotaging your comms, or it could be more likely because you all are probably carrying personal comms, and since it's affecting that as well, it's probably signal jamming. Certainly possible, but it's not fully taken effect, but you can kind of hear a little bit of it. So Jita, with that in mind, what do you want to do?
So would we, and I know this is sort of a meta question, would we say that I have done what I can here in the astrometrics regarding kind of assessing our situation?
I mean, the one thing you could try to do, the one other thing that you would be able to do in astrometrics is probably help plot a new jump course. But the problem is that the jump drive malfunctioned, and so that has to be repaired first. Once that's repaired, you could probably do it. But until then, you could sort of set you could set the ship to so there's really not a whole lot like you can do until the jump drive gets fixed.
Okay. I'll do the research now to set it so that as soon as it's fixed, we can go immediately.
Okay. Sure. That'll just be another astronomy test. Since this is something completely different, go ahead and roll the astronomy test.
Yep. Okay, so that is a 11, 12, 13. That is a 19, and I'm going to re-roll 21.
Okay. So what we'll say is that you're able to sort of scan the area, and you can tell that there is ample ley dust for the ship to begin collecting. And then you'll be able to kind of jump it off. No, that's not. No. That's not right.
Yeah.
Okay. You got one other thing if you wanted to do something else. What would you like to do?
If I feel like I have gotten everything out of astrometrics, I will move myself back out.
Where would you like to go?
I'm
You should be able to move
trying to.
yourselves for the most part.
Yeah, I ran into a wall where I thought there was a door, so I might have.
So where are you trying to go? Tell me where you're trying
back
to go.
out above the jump drive area. So the
So
last place that I saw people.
Okay. So if you're trying to go back into the jump drive, which is engineering, that is where the bulkhead door has dropped.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I will go up through this door then.
All right.
So
you
I will
step
go
through and you
Oh,
see that
crap.
you are not alone in that room, as there is an individual wearing some sort of environmental suit. You can see that they are not some sort of squiggly little Nephilim, but are in fact something much bigger. And they look a little startled to see you. I'll give you a basic. I think I have a handout for what they kind of look like. Let me see. There you go. You should be able to see them. You can tell that obviously they're wearing a suit, but beyond that, you can tell one of their arms is just gargantuan and mutated, like they've gone through some kind of some sort of weird genetic manipulation. Half the face as well, but I will say that even through the kind of environmental issues, you can still see that they have like half their face seems remnant, like that kind of feline or mammalian, and the other half seems like it's been overtaken by something. I'll tell you what. Roll a. Sorry, my screen kind of freezed up. Go ahead and roll a culture. Yeah, we'll do culture test if you want.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. I don't have a 6 here. I have -2. So the rolls over 20 are going to have ended. That's a 5, 7, 8, 10. That's a 8.
An 8? That is not enough, unfortunately, to know anything. Okay. All right. Fair enough. That is your turn, unfortunately, as you step in and you can see that.
Can I squeal into comms?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's fine. You can
Okay, I would like to do that.
You guys hear squeak, squeak, squeak. Every 3 seconds of the squeal is suddenly interrupted. Okay. So then something else will happen. And now someone actually can see it as, hang on. As the door next to you opens, Cheetah, the one that goes to your airlock, and you see another one of them step in.
No.
To the same room that you are in. And then, since you are here, and they have another thing they can do, I'm going to have them do that.
No.
Okay.
It's just constant squealing that's happening into the comms. It's just like, no.
All right. I'm going to use a wild power. As you see their arm, that length, that gigantic kind of strange, like almost Nephilim-like arm that is not wrapped up in its environmental suit like the rest of the body seems to be. It begins to contort and shoot out, and I'm going to attempt its sort of ability here, which is essentially grip you. So this is going to be that. That's plus. I can do math. Hang on. 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2, 15.
15 is my defense.
Oh my god! Right on the button. Okay, and that's the case. Then no 6s. So this is just going to be. I can't use my. Yeah, I can't use the cool thing. So it's just going to be 2 points of endurance damage. That's all it's going to be.
I can do that.
As they reach out to you, like in a moment of just fright and panic, just kind of dodge out of the way as you see their arm kind of shift and contort and almost like reach out at you and then zip back and away. But you get clipped by it, but you are not entirely destroyed by it. Okay. Zatek, it is your turn. Zatek, you are you've been chasing this Nephilim through the vent. They just shot you, and then they scrambled out of a vent, out of one of the vent covers. What would you like to do, buddy?
So I see them here. I also hear squealing.
Yeah, on the comms you hear squealing. Yes, you do.
We also heard. Did we hear on the comms that they are attached to us?
Gita, would you have said? Would you have
communicated? I think she said that.
I did. It's really just if those were one of the words that were dropped, or if those were words that got through. But I definitely attempted to communicate that.
I wouldn't do that to you yet. Sure.
Okay. Is there a vent that goes over in this area?
To the airlock? There is not one that goes into the airlock, but you would know that there is a vent that goes into the bunk. Whose bunk might we say that is? So there's a couple. Whose bunk would we say is sort of like, if you're looking at the map, the northeast over by the airlock? Who would like to be by the exit?
Possibly Cheetahs, because it's by astrometrics.
Sounds good. Okay, you know that there is a vent that will let out into Jita's bunk. And that's probably the closest one you can get to. Either that, or there's like kind of an attached sort of bathroom as well.
Mm-hmm. I want to try to get over there.
Okay. If that's the case, we'll say I think two movements. One because like one to leave here, and then another one to go into the bunk. I'll say 2 movements can probably get you into the bunk.
Okay.
And you can pop out inside the bunk. You don't have to you can, if you wanted to pop out, and then that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that then. So just it says it collides with the wall.
Yeah,
I don't know how to get.
I got you. It's just because there's walls and stuff. Because I wanted to scare people and make them squeal when they open the door and saw things. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you are in Jita's bunk. Jita, what does your bunk look like?
So I'm realizing that this is the only solo bunk on the ship. So I'm not entirely sure that Jita would have gotten the solo bunk necessarily. Like someone else might have gotten the solo bunk. Possibly Kill.
I was thinking Kill, and Jeremy, tell me if I'm wrong. There is a bunk near the jump drive, since you are so good with mechanics.
Did you claim that last session?
That was the one that he had.
Yeah,
because we were joking about when we exploded the one last time that it just got all over Kill's bunk.
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe Dr. T has his own bunk.
Yeah, nobody wants to bunk with Dr. T.
Maybe no one wants to bunk with Dr. T.
Wow. It's just
this tentacle syndrome is
much.
a real thing.
It's pretty close to the bridge too, so it would make sense if it was Dr.
Okay,
T's.
you're in. Okay, so we'll say you're in Dr. T's bunk. So Chuck, what does Dr. T's bunk look like?
Lots of jars. Lots and lots of jars with replacement kill parts.
Okay, so Tech, you notice, even in the darkness, we'll say you have some minor light on you. You can see that there are lots and lots of jars with, that looks like that hand looks a lot like Kill's hand. And that's the same color eyeball that Kill has. That's weird. Like, why does he have why does he have like 6 different Legion ears?
On my next turn.
All right.
You would also see I did pick up a bunch of new cookbooks specializing in mushrooms.
Oh,
I like it.
Oh dear.
Okay. Next up then, Dr. T. What would you like to do, man?
Well, I'm going to guess by the squealing over the comms that my plan to vent the jump drive was not successful. So I'll go ahead.
It's definitely venting.
Well, not successful in the way I was hoping. Because obviously, if Jita's squealing, there's too much air in there. So I'll just turn that off.
Gotcha.
I
She
guess
has
I'll
air to
just
scream. There's too much air.
Yeah, it didn't go to plan. Nobody should be able to scream in there right now.
Is this like Dr. T murdering his crew because no one wanted to actually bunk with him? Is that what's going on right now?
I would never say that. Although it was nice when I was an only child, but that's not the point. So yeah, I'll just turn that off, and I guess I'm gonna head out to find what Jita's screaming about.
Okay. Sure. You can go ahead and turn off the venting. When you move into the arboretum, we'll say that's where you go next. You will notice that there is a frightened turtle in the corner, and there is and boars as well. So the two of them are just kind of huddled together in the arboretum. Obviously, you don't have Boris' communication, so you have no idea what he's saying. But it's probably something very rude, and you're pretty sure.
I'm gonna tuck him like back behind a flower pot or something on a high shelf.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hide him then, so that no one can see him. And
Yeah, and then I'll
he's
continue
gone.
heading back, like probably towards Astrometrics, because that's where I last saw Maya and
Okay.
Jita.
Since you've turned off the jump drive, we'll say, since you turned off the venting, we'll say that the emergency bulkhead doors can come back up, and you start rushing through and over the bridge that kind of connects the two sides of the ship. Perfect. And we'll say you're somewhere in the middle of the jump drive section right now. Okay.
That's good.
All right. Next thing. Well, Jita, I'm sorry to say that the next guy to go is the first one you saw. It's his turn now.
No.
So,
possibly I should have given my coordinates in the middle of that squealing.
people are asking back, but they're breaking up. Jita, I'll say. Okay, he's going to basically take 2 attacks. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, so we're just going to say that's what he's going to do.
Sure.
I think this one, I'm going to use his... Okay. You watch, similar to the other one, this arm begins to twist and turn, except you see in the various emergency lights of their suits, instead this it can possibly black bit of darkness just starts to form in front of it, and they're just kind of moving their hand a bit, and then eventually their hand disappears and just becomes pure dark, and then they fire it forward and as like some sort of dark plasma like forearm cannon comes off in your direction.
Oh gosh.
All right, so that is going to be a 16 to hit. I have 1 6. Okay, so
yeah,
you are going to take. You're going to take 4 points of endurance damage. So go ahead and reduce that. I am not. I'm going to use the 6 not to trigger the critical. I'm going to use it to trigger its strong hit on this ability called Burn. So all damage characters, so your damage, will suffer 3 general damage at the start of their turn until an appropriate skill roll of 12 is made. And so you are now burning as some sort of dark plasmatic substance is coating your skin and your clothes, and it's like acidically burning away. Then he's gonna say, like this voice will come out like, "You should have given us the shard." And then he will take another shot.
Oh, goodness.
And this time it is that would miss, but I will, instead of doing the crit, I'll burn the 6 then to get a reroll. 7. Okay, so now it's going to hit, but I use my 6, so you're not going to take any crit damage. So it's just going to be 4 more points of endurance damage.
Okay.
And I can't trigger another strong hit, so it's just 4 more points of endurance damage. And that is that.
Ow. So now the squealing turns a little bit to ow, ow, ow.
Zatek, make an awareness test.
All right.
Yeah, make an awareness test. You're close enough where you might have been able to hear something directly from in here, because I don't think anyone really.
1. Yeah. I knew she was in general astrometrics area. Oh, a 13. And I got a 6, so I can re-roll that 1.
Sure.
2, so 15.
15? Okay.
Because I get the plus one on the reroll.
Okay. 15, you definitely hear the sounds of some kind of gunfire, shouting. You hear, I'll say maybe you even hear the voice as it was sort of shouted in the direction of Jita. And I'll say you're close enough to hear everything that just went on inside of that kind of intermediate room on the other side of the door to Jita's bunk. Okay. Then Maya, it is going to be your turn. If you want, with one movement, you could pop out into the middle of this hallway out in front of the bridge if you wanted to do that.
I would.
And what you'll see that there is a kill to your left on the far end of the hall, and you also notice that there is a Nephilim that's scrambled up the stairs and is right in front of the door that goes into your bridge / cockpit area.
I'm gonna do I want to take a shot, which is, and since I used my movement already, can I do this as a sighted shot?
Sure.
Which is adding reflexes to your attack roll, like for
Absolutely.
this attack.
Yep. Yeah, we're playing a little loose with movement just because this is not gridded properly, so I'm just kind of sort of being a little loose with it.
That is a 20 to hit with all 3 being 6s.
You rolled 3 6s?
Oh my
okay.
gosh, that's a crit.
I see awesome. Maitre has gone to Melissa's school of dice rolling. Where she just lies all the time.
Oh my God, I will show it to you, I promise.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, 3 6s. Well, that will hit, and then you have 3 6s to play with. So let's start with endurance damage. Just that's easy enough. What's the endurance damage on your weapon?
Sorry, give me a second. I was too excited about 3 6s. I need to actually look.
Here's what
Is there
you
anything
do
special
when the
for
Nephilim
combat
bastard
where you roll 3
gets handsy
6s?
with
Because I
you.
know.
3 6s is technically a crit, I think, right? Isn't like there's a special.
Yes, it's a crit success.
Yeah, because
Let me see.
like specials for 3 6s and 3 1s.
Focus. 6 plus my reflexes, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 total damage.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that it's at 1 endurance loss, and it's got 1 endurance left, and you have 6. You have 3 6s to use. If you want to use those for, if you want to use them essentially to trigger crits, like I'll say with the fact that you just did 3 6s, like I'll say you just clear its endurance out entirely. I think that's fair. And then in terms of like using and spending your crits,
So it's basically you can do a critical boost, which is +1 critical damage.
Yeah.
And then once per attack, you can do the critical hit, which is all damage characters suffer your weapon's critical damage to a random attribute.
okay.
Right.
Oh.
So would critical boost be a better bet for me or no?
I mean, that takes up 2 of your 3. A crit boost, and then your third is kind of a floating.
Well, I'm giving her it's going to 0 as like a reward for 3 6s, so that she doesn't have to waste the 6 because now it's automatic.
Yeah.
So like now each of the 3 6s will sort of, you can actually spend those each for critical. So you can spend like basically 3 critical boosts essentially if you wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So if that's the case, what's the critical damage on your weapon?
Critical damage on weapon is 3. Sorry.
3. So it'll be 3, and then each critical boost will add 1 to that. So now you're dealing a total of 5 critical damage to it. And I will tell you that is enough to kill it. It is exactly enough to kill it.
Yay.
In fact, as I will-
Amazing.
Acid bullets up the
Very
butt.
cool.
Hell
So
yes.
describe what it looks like as you pop out of the vent, look up, and shoot. What do you do? What does it look like?
I don't have my drone up, my recording drone. I'm like, okay, I just came an event with no air, but that's okay because the swarming spitter does not need air. And then she shoots, and it's that same terrible plasmoid burning that Jita is currently going through. And that same thing is happening to this creature.
And so you see this thing just like
same bird condition.
absolutely. So it just bursts on fire. First, it's like looking over at Kill. It's like, it's my ship. And it just begins to just completely melt and obliterate in front of your eyes. And we'll say that's Maya's turn. Fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
Well done. All right. Now, something else happens. Let's see. What else happens? Roll a die. Okay. Okay. All of you here, as you're kind of communicating to one another, internal communications completely shut down. So like all jams are going through. So like maybe you hear Maya screaming with like joy over killing something, and the only person now who can probably hear that is Kill, who's in the same room as her, and that hall outside.
This manic laughter that you have definitely heard before.
And then Kill, it is your turn. What would you like to do, buddy?
Kill's going to move over to the door to get to the cockpit and the gunnery cockpit. Just take a moment to kind of like make the little thumb, like and finger heart at Maya. That was good. That was real good. You shot those acid bullets right up that tentacle butthole, and he just disintegrated. Oh my God, I couldn't love you more. I'm going to go blow up the other ship now. I know it's a dumb idea, but goddamn, you're great. You're just the best. I'm so proud of you.
Such a touching moment.
Mm-hmm. Jita, would you have told them that your ship is coupled to it?
Yes. Yeah, I think we.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
That's part of why I'm moving over there too.
Hey, if we don't want to play Fragged anymore, that's fine. If we want to blow up our own ship and start a different game,
No, I would
couple
try and
different
shoot it. Like I'm assuming this whole like jamming thing is from the ship. I'm still gonna shoot their ship, but I'm hoping to, stop them from jamming us, basically.
Sure. You could roll a test maybe to figure out whether it would be the ship that's jamming, whether like all that kind of stuff before you make too many decisions. And when you say are you going into the bridge, or are you trying to run towards like the front of the ship where the turret is? So the turret is basically above the stasis chambers. That's what we said last time. It's like basically at the front of the ship, you can kind of pop up there. But like the bridge and the cockpit is essentially where you pilot.
Is there a way to do a test to see if I think that maybe the way that they're doing this blocking on us is coming from our own bridge?
Yeah, that's what I was basically giving you. This would it would take maybe like an electronics would probably be the best.
Okay.
And just a 12. Like all you need is a DC 12 on this.
Okay, electronics is based off focus. I've only got a -1 in that. I get. Okay.
Yeah, this
4, 4, 6. That's not bad. That's
4, 4, 6 is great.
-1, 13.
Okay. So the fact that your personal communicators are not working, like when you get on your own little comms, whatever you might have, like that alone suggests it's local. So there's likely something localized, which could be the bridge. It could be on one of these saboteurs place something somewhere, but it's probably localized somewhere. So it's not because you don't really know whether or not there's anything. You don't really know whether or not your communication, like your outside of the ship, is working or not. But it's definitely something localized.
Okay. Oh God, I want to blow them up so bad. If they're linked to us, it's gonna kill Maya too. So I'm gonna go to the bridge. Oh, I wanted to kill something. So bad. I'm gonna go to the bridge instead. I'm gonna see if I can deal with this.
So we'll say first action is you thinking and running. When you go to open the bridge, you realize it is in fact jammed. As there does seem to be as though something has jammed the door to your bridge. However, it is a mechanics test to open it up, and that is,
oh my God, if only I had a +3 to mechanics.
It will be DC 14, but yeah, it's go ahead.
Would you like an audience +1?
Yes.
Okay.
So 5, a 3 and a 2 is a 10 +3. is 13, and that +1. That +1
Okay.
legitimately is what it took to get me to a 14.
Yay!
All right. As the door opens, you notice. Hang on, let me open that up for you. There is somebody in the bridge that is not one of your crew, and they are in there. And I'm going to say you. Whoops. You don't even need to make a roll on this. Actually, no. Maybe you should make a culture roll.
Oh shit, culture. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Looks very much like the same thing I described with
Okay.
Vegeta, that same kind of strange mutated, genetically mutated affected remnant of
Alright.
some kind.
Okay, so 12 and a 5 is 17 minus 1, 16.
Okay. 16. Okay, that's even 4 better. I'm gonna give you 2 things then. So the first thing, the basic thing is these guys were hanging out with Reg Shara. These are the people, like, you weren't there for the meeting at the auction house and at the bartering house and everything because you were kind of off, but you did have a run-in with Reg Shara before basically our campaign began, and he had a handful of these really kind of genetic or like these mutated strange folk. Now, with the unexpected consequences, what I'll also say is, like, their look, now that you're here and when you kind of see how they're kind of acting, I'm gonna say that you would know that they turn around towards you and they make some kind of like reference. They like reference like the dark eye, or they reference some other phrase that it triggers your memory kill, and that you think that's like the type of rhetoric that is really only shared or used within the cult of Zion. So basically it's like a group of religious people who are like worship the Zion, like that kind of last figure, which is kind of an all truth cult. And so they are not,
Oh my god.
They're very
Are we getting
controversial.
fucking raided by zealot nutters? Jesus Christ. Just I don't even know who that is that I'm referencing right now, but whatever the equivalent of that is in this setting.
fair enough. Okay. New round. All right. So okay, new round. Something happens. Jita, your turn.
Yes. So can I flavor? So
First,
the 3
take
happens
3 points of
first,
general damage. Yeah.
which
Start
is
your turn.
endurance, right?
Yeah. So it's general damage. So as long as you have endurance, it should come off your endurance first,
I do.
and you're good.
It is. I'm down to half of what I started with, but I do. So my question to you is: can I reflavor a reposition action as a stop, drop, and roll action?
Absolutely. That
trying
sounds
to, like,
wonderful. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Get this, and so like there's 2 right in front of her, and there's a door right behind her, so there's not a whole lot that she can do. But she's kind of like using the walls and like bouncing between the walls and trying to like roll on them like while standing to try to get this plasma off. So she does 1 action of a reposition. How does
what I'll say is, though, you still need to make a skill roll for it to actually go away. But what I'll say is we'll make it a mobility, and we'll say that +2 that you get from reposition, I'll give that to you as a dice roll bonus to your mobility tests.
Sweet.
Amazing.
So is that a physical roll then?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Physical is the skill. Yeah, mobility is the attribute.
Okay. All right.
But
So
I'll
I
still
have
give
my-
you a +2 because you're using one of your actions, basically the stop, drop, and roll. And I think that makes sense.
Sweet, because
Nice.
physical is a -2, so this will just be a straight. I'm gonna take an audience I would like to stop being on fire.
Okay. You like to stop being swallowed by the dark eye of the Zion that is burning through your suit and will eventually bring you to the oblivion that will overtake all of the galaxy, as it should be. All praise to the
So
Zion.
yeah, even with the plus cancellation of everything, that's a.
Let me guess, 3
11.
6s? That is a fail then. You can take it again. There's no reason you can't do the action again. You absolutely can. It just means that's basically the only other thing you're doing.
You have grit rerolls, right?
That's true. Yeah, thank you. I totally forgot about that. Grit rerolls.
Yes, grit does reset at the beginning of every session.
Mhm.
So
Nice. Yeah.
grit. I will spend one of those grit, and that rerolls everything, right?
It rerolls everything. Yeah.
Unless you took a specific thing to do one die.
I
No.
think effort does one die, no?
Effort does 1.
Yeah, assuming you have a 6.
You have a 6 though. Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I did not. Try this again.
Surprising.
Joe. Okay. There we go. So that is a 15.
15 is now enough. Okay, so as part of the reposition action, you are able to move a little bit. So were you trying to like run back out into astrometrics with that reposition, or was there something else that you wanted to do as part of like your stop, drop, and roll?
Yes. So she is going to very non-stealthily, but she's like rolling on the wall, and she like opens the like, I'm imagining sort of a slidey kind of like spaceship door. And she's like pushing the button and like sliding along the wall and like rolling into the door and trying to close the door behind her.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna assume that the like the doors we have are like they auto close and blah, blah, blah. You know, they're more kind of like Star Trek type doors. That's kind of how than Alien type doors. That's how.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, so we'll say you get through. That's fine, and you shut the door behind you. Without another action, I'll say you can't do anything to try to jam it or block it, but you get through
fine.
at the very least.
I'm not on fire anymore, so that's what's important.
Perfect. Okay, my turn. One of them will take the reposition action, and will run into the astro message following you inside. Sorry. And then he will continue. Well, actually, what would you have done with the crystal shard there, Jita? Would it be out in the open? Would you have hidden it? Would you have like placed it in some sort of safety container? Like what would Jita have done with that crystalline data shard?
So knowing, as we did at the end of the last session, that we saw that there were people that did not belong to our crew that were on the ship, when she went back into astrometrics to do all the things that she did at the beginning of the session, she would have hidden it.
Okay. If that's the case, then he will shoot you. And he will sort of again scream, "Give us the shard." Something like that.
No.
And I think I'm gonna attempt to use his wild power again thingy that he has. Let's do that. It's harder to hit with it, but it's fun.
It is fun. I'm just gonna spend the rest of the fight rolling around.
God dang it! I keep having to like burn my 6s on effort because I'm not rolling well enough. All right, that's going to be.
So that's good.
That's a 15. Is 15 your? Actually, I forgot. Is 15 your defense?
That's exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case, then take 2 points of endurance damage as the arm kind of like unravels for a moment and then wraps around you. Yeah, so just take 2 endurance damage, but you're able to kind of rip yourself free. And so it doesn't, like, you can tell he's trying to essentially kind of grapple you in a way, sort of. But you're able to keep moving and keep yourself from becoming inhibited, which is really annoying. Okay.
I'm slippery.
You are. Okay, so that's his turn. Zatek, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. So I know I was nearby. I'm gonna move out.
Okay.
I don't know if I have enough action to do this, but what I really want to do is I feel like the door next to the airlock is the strongest and most choppy door in our ship. And I really want to body morph and shove the guy into it and then close the door. Like putting all my points into strength just to get him into this door so I can slam it on him.
You want to shove him basically back into like the airlock area. So there's 2 doors. There's like, you know how like the airlock.
I want to shove him into the door and then guillotine him with the door.
Oh, okay.
Clever.
Let's make, I think, if you're trying to reposition, you're basically trying to reposition him. You're trying to like physically move him. We'll make it a contested test. Let's do a contested.
And I want to use my body morph to like move everything to strength because I'm not strong right now. So, because damage I took.
See what he's got for strength. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your test, your body morph test, and I will roll. I'm just gonna roll a basic. Actually, is strength or reflex better for him? I'm gonna roll a reflex test to see if he can sort of dodge out of the way of your giant bulbous body lurching forward and towards him.
Okay. Do we have audience boost still?
We do.
Yeah, I'll take one of those. Ooh, 19.
I also rode 19. Holy shit.
Nice.
Here's what we'll say since we tie, because I want something to happen. I don't want to say nothing happens. That's no fun. So why don't we say it's harder than you anticipate to get him into the door, and so by the time you get him into the door, like you're not able to like hit the thing just to kind of guillotine him yet. But we'll say he's in the doorway at this point, and you've kind of repositioned him, but he's managed to kind of keep you from doing anything too terrible with it yet.
Okay.
All right. So let me just move us around so you can keep track of things. All right. So he's like all teed up, basically. All right. Dr. T.
That's me.
What would you like to do, man? You are in the jump drive section.
Is it within one movement to get to the dude there with Jita, or is it more
Yes,
than
you
one
can.
movement?
Well, I'll say one action can get you into the astrometrics, and you'll still have another action to do something.
Okay, then I'm going to get into the astrometrics. I'm going to see that dude, and I'm going to sighted shot him with my laser scalpel.
Beautiful. As you come running in, he's just like, "Give me the shot," and his arm almost kind of splinters for a moment into tentacles and tries to wrap around Jita, but she's able to break free. You can see she's been through some things since you've last seen her.
I can fix that. Don't worry.
I have so many ears.
All right. So that's an 18.
That is definitely enough to hit. Let me see if that's
And
enough.
you got a
to
6.
I did.
18 is not 4 above. Their defense is 16, so it's still a hit.
Still a hit? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then my endurance damage on that, since it's a sighted shot, is 6. Is that right? Yeah, 6.
Okay. All right, so that's gonna. All right, yeah. So all of that goes through as you come running in. He doesn't even necessarily see you, as he's so kind of sort of obsessed at this point with Jita.
Yeah.
And then you just see him, and he just smashes up against the wall, and then turns and looks at you, and you can see his arm at this point begins to reform, and it's just big hulking purple mass. You would probably know, Dr. T, that there have been some strange experiments done where they've kind of merged like Nephilim and remnant DNA here and there, and this sort of has that kind of vibe as you're looking at it. All right. Excellent. Okay. My turn. The guy who is trapped in the airlock now, or like kind of wedged in the airlock with Zatek, is up. Okay. I think he's just going to try to shoot you. He's got, well, actually, I mean, not technically shoot, but it's reflavored as like a forearm. Yeah, let's try to, I think he's just going to, as he's trying to push back in, he's just going to try to shoot you out of the way so he can get back through.
Okay.
I'm assuming 14 isn't good, right? So
14 does clear. I have a 13 as my defense.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I'm not going to spend that.
I'm not very combat-y.
Ooh.
You are now on fire, though, as what just happened to Jita now happens to you. You're going to take initially 4 points of endurance damage. I'm going to spend the 6 I have to use a strong hit for burn. You'll suffer 3 general damage at the start of your turn.
Ooh.
And then he'll effectively
That's
try
the
to do
only
the same
thing I
thing.
don't like is fire.
I'm stupid and have been forgetting to use munitions, so I'm going to use a munition to on his second shot. Are you fucking kidding me?
All right, musicians.
That's a pretty terrible roll. That sucks. Do I have crit rerolls on this guy? Some NPC.
Yeah, I don't know how that works for.
It depends on what kind of NPC they are. Let me double check because he is a skilled.
How much did he
Grit.
deal endurance to me on that? You said?
It was 4 endurance damage, and then you will suffer 3 at the start of your turn because you're on fire, basically. You don't suffer that extra 3 now.
Okay.
I do. I actually do get grit. I do have grit, so I have 1. Okay, so I'll use it. Oh, that's way better. Okay, so that's going to be 22 to hit now. So we're going to do the same thing again, and he's going to burn you, and this time, and it stacks. So now you're going to take 4 points of endurance damage, and now at the start of your turn, you're going to take 6 general damage, as now more of your mass is now covered with this sort of plasma, this dark plasma. And then with his other 6, I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do critical damage. He's going to do 3 points of critical damage to a random attribute. So what do we got? 6 points of damage to your focus. Or excuse me, 3 points of damage to your focus. Minus your armor.
Minus armor. Okay.
Yeah. So you have 1 armor, right?
2 to focus.
Okay, 2 to
Yeah, I
focus.
have 1 armor.
All right, and that is his turn.
Ow.
Okay, then it's Maya's turn. Maya, you're right next to Kill. Kill just broke open the door to the cockpit. You hear, I'll say at this point, you guys hear gunfire and screaming coming from the other side of the door at the end of the hall. That kind of goes towards the airlock. You haven't seen anybody else in a while, but you've heard some screaming. So you kind of echoing or coming through various vents and such. But you also have an open bridge cockpit, and you can hear that Kill is talking to somebody as there's somebody in the bridge. What would you like to do, Maya?
I'm going to run towards where I heard Jita's screams come from. So right into the what the fuck is it called? Astrometrics.
Okay, so we'll say so first action will get you into the same room that Zatek is in. So this is your first action, basically.
Love you too.
She runs away, leaving Kill to die with the boss. So you run in. So your first action, then now you see what you see, and you can decide what you want to do next. So you can see that Zatek has he morphed up? Does he look like puffed up a little bit?
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of blobbed, and I've absorbed like all of my points to try and move him into my strength. So I feel like I'm just trying to absorb this guy and move him with my body while it's wrapped around him.
So you see this bloated up Zatek morphed and moved around. You might have seen him do this before. You guys have been a crew for a little while. But he's also on fire. He's got this strange, dark, kind of almost black and purple fire that's singeing him. You also see some blood on the ground and such here and there. So you have another action, Maya. What would you want to do?
I'm gonna try and move closer to Jita still.
Okay,
So
you can.
using my second action to
All right,
maybe
so
go
we'll say,
south.
I'll say you can run into Astrometrics, and now there's 3 of you in Astrometrics at the end of your turn, with one of them now in here, and Zatek is going to get sucked out the airlock. But it's okay, because he can survive.
Could I have done that as a snapshot? Which would allow a move and
what's
attack?
I've been playing it like one action to move from room to room, so I do want to be consistent with that. So one action, So, because like I tried to do this like grid mapping, but it got
no
crazy,
worries at all. I'd be an asshole if I didn't ask.
Fair enough. All right, Kill. He gets to go before you as you two are staring off. He's a 3 and you're a 2, so he's actually next to go. Yeah, okay. So he turns. And he says to you, "You're on my bridge," and he's going to watch as
for
this.
Zion.
You know about Zion?
I could learn more. I know enough to know I want to know more.
Let me see. I'm gonna roll a little test by this.
I
guy.
mean, if I make a culture test with a negative modifier, I'm gonna pull on that.
I think it's more. I want to see if he's. It's more. I want to see if he could be delayed by this. That's like a 12. So it's 12 on the dot. I'll say he hesitates for a moment, but he's still gonna shoot at you. I think.
Tell me
I'll say
more.
he hesitates. I'm gonna give him a -1 in his attack just because, like, you get him to. He's like, what? And then he shoots. So I'll give him a -1.
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna burn a munition to get an extra one because you're a freaking Legion, and he's probably like, shit. Why do I get the Legion? I'll do the shotgun. Oh, okay. There we go. 6, 6, 5, 2, 17 plus 4 is 21 to hit.
I had a 30. I
Yeah.
that really
Okay,
hits
buddy.
me.
Okay, funny.
21. Oh my god. Jesus.
I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I used a munition point. So I was rolling.
Fair. Okay. Oh god. Could not have, point of order, don't mock other cultures, religions. It goes
Dice
poorly.
here.
Your Zion is valid and acceptable.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna spend one to burn. So you're gonna take 4 points of endurance damage off the bat.
Okay.
And then you're gonna have burn on you. So 3 points of general at the start of your turn.
Okay. Got it.
And then I'll use the other 6 for a critical hit.
Okay.
So, let me see. Let me double check actually, because I needed to double check something about armor piercing. Yeah, no, because you're a big hulking Legion, right? You're a big hulking Legion.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna burn you with the second one too. Yeah. So, yeah, they're smart. You're not just fighting big dum-dums.
I probably could have soaked his arm.
I know. That's why I thought about that a second. I was like, no, he's a big Legion guy. I'm like, because I don't have any AP on this, so no piercing. All right, so take 8 total points of damage. You're going to take 6 general damage at the start of your turn as you are on fire. And that is his turn. And now it's yours. You just took his shot. What do you want to do?
Well, it's really awkward that 2 out of my 3 weapons have armor piercing and can shoot through walls, which is probably not what I want to do in our bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pull out my pistol and I'm going to spend 3 points of munitions and I'm just going to unload on this guy.
Okay. 3 munitions points, get all your D6s. So you get 3 extra D6s. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it'll be at 0, so you actually won't be able to fire on the next round. So you're trying to one-shot him.
That's okay.
Okay.
Because my gun also has the flaming attribute. So he sets me on fire. You want to set me on fire? You want to play the flame game? I'll play the flame game, you son of a bitch.
we're just like
Get out of my chair.
Whoosh.
Don't forget to take your 3, by the way.
It's not your
for the
chair.
start of your
This
turn.
isn't your chair. I was told your chair was upstairs with the gun.
So we're just going to burn the chair, and then it's no one's chair.
Okay, so this is
Probably extra flammable with all of hard tease grease.
okay. So
For our
18,
Okay.
22,
Okay.
23,
Okay.
26, 3 6s.
Holy fuck.
Unfortunately, I also have 3. So that is
Okay.
not. Of course,
I'm going to
that's-
take all
that's
3 of those
more than enough.
6s
Yeah.
to put him on fire for 9 fire damage.
All right. What's the endurance? What's your endurance weapon? Like your basic damage.
I think it only does just my focus because my pistol doesn't do a lot. So it's just 4 endurance from the shot,
Okay.
but then 9 damage
That's start of his
ongoing
turn.
until he makes a check to stop it.
Okay.
So start of his next turn, he'll get.
Start of his
9.
next turn, he'll take 9 general damage. Got it. Okay.
Ooh.
He's standing. He's immune to fire. It's fine. Okay.
That's fair. It seemed like the thing, dude. You set me on fire. I'll set
Yeah.
you more on fire.
Absolutely.
You do have a second action, but unfortunately, you can't use this gun to do that. So, what would you?
Can I
want to do for the
pistol whip
second
him?
Sure. You could, because you could do the whole snap stuff, right? Yeah, we say
Because the
move and
pistol could be
attack.
used with their what's the term for like movement?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's reposition.
Reposition.
You can also
Pistol
just
could
do
be
like a
used while
snapshot, too.
repositioning.
Okay. Sure. So you run in. Go ahead and roll an attack with your pistol. Just hitting.
I don't know
Is
if
it
that
just
really
pure
follows
melee?
through with small arms, if that's exotic more so.
I think it's exotic, but it doesn't really. It's not that clear.
I'm good with either.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do exotic
Okay.
since you're good with both.
I will, instead of doing a crit, I will re-roll that one because you
Yeah,
suck.
I've been in that situation multiple times tonight.
Okay,
I would've
so a
totally killed you
6
guys,
and a
man.
3 and a 3 gets me to a 12.
As you come running in, going to swing, you see his arm extends and it kind of whips the chair around and it bumps into your new knee and you nearly get knocked prone, but because you have a new knee, you're able to hop over top of it, but he is able to step around it and keep the chair between you and him. As that is a miss. That's not enough.
Yeah, I can't say
Okay.
my new knee probably helps with that because my new knee would have got me to a 13 if it applied.
13 is still not enough.
Curses.
Okay.
I'm not a
All right.
pistol
Gonna
whip
take
guy.
9 points of.
He's
fire
gonna take
damage
9
at
points
the
of damage
start
at the start of his
next turn.
It was worth it. I could have done a crit. I just really wanted to burn him so bad.
Something happens. And it is now GJ's turn.
Okay, so I am going to attempt to take this one out that is with us in Astrometrics because, goodness,
nice.
there are 4 of us in Astrometrics now, and I don't really like all of this many people up in my Astrometrics lab. They're going to mess it up. It was all
Okay.
pretty, and it's not going to be pretty anymore. So she's going to shoot him.
That sounds great. Go ahead. So now, before you shoot, take a look at the actions. We have been playing fast and loose a little bit with movements and stuff like that, but remember some of those actions to shoot and stuff like that can like give you boost to the things. So like make sure you're
Yeah, so I will be doing, so first action will be take aim,
sounds good.
which will be
So
plus 2 to hit and then plus 2 endurance damage.
Sounds good. Okay.
So let me do
And then your
roll.
second action, is it a sighted shot?
Yes.
Makes the most sense because you can add your reflexes to your attack.
Yeah, assuming that I need to attack twice. No, sorry. Got
no.
it. Yeah, no.
You're not attacking twice, you're
yeah.
attacking once. Yeah, because you took aim. And now
So I
you're fine.
rolled a 6, a 2, and a 1. So I'm going to take the 6 to reroll the 1.
Well, hang on. So if you're doing sighted shot, you get to add your reflexes to the attack roll. So 6, a 2, and a 1 would be a total of 9. What's your normal bonus from your weapon?
Oh, that's right.
What's your
Plus
to hit?
9.
Okay, so plus 9 from your weapon puts you at 18. And then what's your reflexes?
3.
Okay, so now you are at 21 to hit, which, let me check my notes, is enough. So don't re-roll that because now you can use it for a critical hit.
Oh, right.
Nice.
So endurance damage is 6.
Okay. Got it.
Plus 2 endurance damage. So sorry, it's 8 because of the take aim.
Got it.
And then the crit damage is 4.
Whew. Right. 4, huh?
4.
They do have armor. Do you have any piercing?
Yes. It is pierce. It's innate energy and pierce.
Okay. All right. So that'll reduce that armor a little bit. So you said that you're going to do 4. All right. Let me roll. Actually, for them, he's just going to do I'm just doing durability with them. So, okay. I'm not going to do that. Okay. It's 4, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right. He's still up. Okay. But you did hurt him quite badly, in fact. But he is still up. All right. But it was a very good turn. Excellent turn. It's now his turn. He has 3 targets, but you just hurt him, and he would like to hurt you back.
Okay.
So,
me and my 10 endurance.
Well, you're not going to have that in a second.
No, I'm not.
Okay. I am going to. I've been doing the attack twice thing instead of trying to do take aim, so I'm going to continue with that, and go through munitions and all that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. Same thing. He's going to try to burn you. No 6s, but it's a good roll. 16 plus 4. That's 20 to hit. So you'll be 4 more points of endurance damage, but I have no 6s, so no extra burn. So just 4 points of endurance damage. And then again, same thing. All right, I got a 6 this time, but it's not as good of a roll. Fudge. I think I need a 15 to hit you, right?
You do.
All right. So what's his reflexes? All right, with his reflexes, that's enough. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 4 more points of endurance damage.
Oh, crap.
And 3 points. I'll spend the 6 to burn again. So 3 points of general damage at the start of your next turn. All right, that's his turn.
I chose poorly during my turn. I should have prepped and recovered some endurance because I can't take the 3 burn at the beginning of my next turn because I only have 2 endurance left.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay, so I'm going to enjoy your next character, Palador or something. Zatek, you and this guy, you're on fire. You took some fire damage.
I am. I do.
So how much do you take? I forgot.
I take 6,
Okay.
putting me at 18 damage. So I'm down to 2 endurance left.
Oh, boy. Okay, so
I took some damage last time.
Yeah, and you've taken some crit damage. Okay.
Yeah. 3 of my stats are down. Pretty low.
What would you like to do, man?
I really want to finish shutting this door on this guy. And I want to do it in a way where I'm in the airlock room, like after the door closes.
So when you say airlock room, do you mean the room that actually has the word airlock in it, or do you mean the other one?
Yeah, because I want to be in this room.
Okay.
When the door closes.
All right. Roll. I'll give you a couple options. You can, because you probably don't want to get caught in it yourself. So we can just do. Let's just do a reflex. Yeah, let's do a physical. Do a physical test and
physical.
Physical.
Can I continue to like body morph as this?
Yeah. That's fine. It'll be contested, and we'll see how it goes.
Take an audience again on that.
All right, I did not roll as well as I did last time.
I did not either. I only have 1 grit to reroll because of my damage, so I'm going to use that. It's the same thing. 13.
I rolled an 11. I rolled an 11.
Okay.
So you actually did succeed. I rolled very, very poorly. So we'll say we'll say the airlock comes down, or the door comes down on him. Roll like one, two. Roll like a D. Roll a D6. If you roll a 1, you decapitate him. If you roll a 6, you bifurcate him in half. Anything else, it's a limb.
Okay.
1 or a 6 is what you want. Okay.
3.
We'll say you take out one of his legs. So he's just, so at this point, he is on the ground in excruciating pain as you just took out one of his legs. So I'm going to say
we're both in this room now then. So like his leg got shot here.
his leg is over there. I'll even close it and lock it. So there we go.
Sweet.
Okay. You technically still have another action. So is there something else you wanted to do?
My goal is to start trying to vent and detach us in any way that I can.
Okay. You can roll a mechanics test. I will say that you will know immediately upon entering in here that there's a tether coupled to your ship. So so you would need to decouple that first and then vent. So a mechanics test, DC 12 will get you to decouple. If you get +4, if you get like an unexpected consequence like a 16, we'll say you can do both in one turn.
Okay. How many audience boosts do we have?
We're good. You can take another one.
Okay. I'll take that to round me out. Oh boy.
That is a poor roll. Would you like to grit that up?
I can't because I took grit damage last time.
Does that affect your grit rerolls though?
It did on the sheet.
Yeah, I don't know if the sheet's correct though on that because I know some of them it reduces and some of it doesn't.
So like what happens when you reduce attribute damage?
Yeah, some of it affects, but I always forget which one's which. And since we play every other week, I have a tendency to forget a lot of rules in those 2 weeks.
See if I can find it quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, see if I can find it fast. If I can't find it fast. So your crit equals your grit. Critical failures and lottery rolls. Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm not seeing
damage reduces it.
So we'll say since I couldn't find it quick, we'll say you can't for now. We might correct that later, but we'll say you can't for now. And you are trying to.
That I wouldn't be able to because like all of the other ones affect, like when you have reduced mobility, you can't move as much, and then that's pretty much the only thing that grit does is gives you rerolls.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. So that was the tech. Dr. T, you are now in the room.
That's me.
Did I miss it by more than 4?
You, in fact, actually did, because you rolled a 6, right? Because difficulty would have been 12.
And also, a little bit of monkey's paw on that ability I have. It's 2 negative consequences because I get double either way.
Okay. All right. We'll say 2 negative consequences. I'll say because you've been messing around with your body morph, you get kind of hungry, and your hunger begins to sort of overtake you, maybe. And we'll say like there's sort of like you look down at this like body flopping around, and maybe you get kind of a little distracted. Maybe a little bit of the primal Zhou kind of takes over at this point. And so anything you do that is not trying to essentially imbibe or subsume this guy will be met with penalties moving forward. And we'll say that'll be that.
Okay.
All right, let's go over to Dr. T.
In a while.
Dr. T and the women.
Yeah.
Get because there's
Yeah.
with Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Like wasn't it Richard Gere?
Yeah.
There's 2 women in here. There's 2 women in here.
Dr.
What?
T is the Richard Gere of this. Yeah.
That's true,
Anyway,
you
I'm
are
going to do
quite-
2 things.
All right,
I am going to try and help extinguish Jada because she's
sure.
doing a terrible job at putting herself out.
Sure. How would you like to go ahead and do that?
What's the fire suppression system looking at? Like, is it like gas?
Foam, maybe we'll say foam shoots
Okay.
down. It's probably safer.
Yeah, I'll just reach up and like grab the nozzle kind of around Jita and just pull that off to let that foam just.
Let's do. I'll give you a choice. Physical or mechanics, whichever you prefer.
Let's see. We'll go physical because that's only at a -2.
Okay. All right. Give that a roll.
That's a 10.
Okay, got a 6 though. You can re-roll one of those
Oh
threes.
yeah, I'll reroll one of those 3s. And that's
Got another 6. If you want to re-roll
can
the
I-
other 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 5. So
15.
that's it. Good math.
Absolutely. No fun stuff because it's not +4. So we'll say you managed to reach up. You trigger with one of your tentacles the interior, like the astrometrics fire suppression system. A bunch of like foam begins to squirt down all over the place, and it sort of suppresses and smothers the fire on Jita. Jita, you look like the Ghostbusters at the end of the first movie right now, as you are just coated in it. Okay.
Everyone was surprised to see that this didn't come out white. It actually came out in colors.
Oh, I love it.
Anything
Both swirl.
has been changed.
Nice.
It's sherbet. It's all like
Oh.
sherbet.
Nice. The other thing, I'm
wonderful.
going to sighted shot this dude.
Go right ahead. Absolutely.
Shank him.
And don't
real
forget
good.
munitions and stuff. I should remind folks, if you wanted to use munitions or anything like that, don't forget to call it out.
Yeah. If this hits, I will be expending one of my munitions to add that extra D6.
You got 2 6s on that. Holy crap.
Go with a 22. 22.
That's going to be enough to hit. What would you like to do? Well, let's handle endurance first. So what's the endurance damage on that weapon?
That should be a 6.
Okay. So then what would
Yeah.
you like to do with your 2 6s?
I would like to do that strong hit. Just do critical because that turns it over to a tribute.
So yeah, you can spend 1 to do critical damage, and then the second one you can do critical boost, which would essentially increase the amount of critical damage you do.
Okay. And then if I throw my munitions on that, that's an extra D6, right?
I can't remember if munitions needs to be called out before you roll it, unless you have.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you have something on your weapon that has another munitions ability, but like the general munitions boost is like for the 2-hit roll, but some weapons
Okay.
have other things.
Well, this is momentum with a physical,
Oh, okay.
so it adds the D6 to damage.
Oh, okay, yeah, roll a d6. That'll be endurance damage though. I don't think it's going
Sure.
to be crit,
It should be, yeah.
but it could actually be important if you roll well.
3 endurance damage.
He's down to 2 endurance. If you would have rolled a 5, it would have been at 0. However, you're still going to be able to do crit damage. What's the crit damage on your weapon?
3. And
3.
I did the boost, making that a 4.
Making that 4. Is there any armor piercing or anything kind of going on with this guy? With this stuff?
No.
Okay. Well, I can tell, man, he is so close to dead. It's ridiculous. If you had, he's got 1 durability and 2 endurance left. He's so close to
Oh
dead.
gosh.
But he is still living. He is still alive. Okay. All right. But I'm sure Maya will be able to finish him off. Next up is going to be the merc in the airlock with Zatek, who is missing a leg. I don't think he's in good shape. Okay. What do I want to do with him? What can I do with him? Let me roll like a morale test or something for him to see if he's even capable of doing anything. Yeah, those 2 1s and a 4, I think, say no. All right, so he's going to roll around panicking as you just literally... Yeah, I'm going to say he's rolling around panicking. Maya,
Okay.
it is your turn. This one's almost at... You see his suit is torn
with
up.
the sighted shot to try and finish him off.
Go right ahead.
I'm mostly put him out of his misery.
Yeah, he's not in great shape. And I would say, Maya, you actually, I already gave you this, right? You know that these people were accompanying Reg Shara back on Mishpasha. So
Okay.
you knew that for certain.
Sighted shot allows me to add my thingy thing, my reflexes. And so that is no sixes, unfortunately, but an 18 overall.
18 overall. Okay. I will tell you that no matter how much endurance damage you do, I'm sure it's at least 2. So you're going to bring him down to 0 with this one, and as long as you hit on your second shot, he's dead. So just roll to hit on the second one, and he'll be dead. So as long as you don't like 3 1s it on your second shot.
No, this is 19 with 1 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's dead. That is enough. As you just you obliterate him against the wall, and this guy finally does fall. And that is that. That's the end of that guy's life. And the bridge takes 9 points of burn, reducing him to 12 endurance. Okay, he will.
9 points of burn.
I mean, he could spend an action to try and put out that fire, or he could just he could let it keep going.
There's
I am
options.
going.
No pressure.
I am going to. These are lunatics, so I'm going to continue shooting. Sighted shot on you twice, basically, or as both of his actions. How many munitions does he have left? All right.
Jeff, I think you missed the little
that? Oh, that?
Neo,
I have no common sense. I'm going to see if I can lose 2 characters this week.
You're a legion. You fight stuff. That's what you do.
Reflex 4 is 9, 12, 14, 19, 20, 21 to hit with 1 6.
Oh, 22. No.
4
no.
points. 4 points of endurance damage, and I will. You're on fire too, as well, aren't you?
I'm already on fire. Yep.
For 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're on fire for 9.
Oh no!
Oh God.
Here's his
What?
second attack.
Mm.
Not gonna lie,
Is
I got 2
literally
6s.
Everyone on fire.
Oh no! Too many people came to my aid, I think.
All right, this is actually going to be 20, but I did get 2 6s.
Okay.
Oh,
So go ahead, take another 4 points of endurance damage,
I think I got spare parts for him.
and
Goodness
then
gracious.
stack up 6 more points of burn damage.
Oh my god.
Oh
So
my
we're-
God.
You're up to 15, I think now, right?
Oh,
You're going to take 15.
I have a lot of endurance at the start of my turn. I'm gonna have so little endurance.
Well, it is in fact your turn. So as the burn comes through, you're like the freaking bridge is so covered in fire right now between you and this guy. Everything's kind of caught on fire.
Oh god.
15. Okay, so 15 endurance loss.
Okay.
What would you
Okay.
like to do?
He didn't put himself out.
He didn't.
Cool. I'm gonna put myself out.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
not.
please.
I'm crazy,
Chicken
but
shit.
I'm not stupid.
Chicken. All right.
Is that like what? My first action is a skill check then to put it out.
Probably you could do physical. You can just do a physical test if you want. It's probably
Physical with would my new knees help me like stop, drop, and roll?
just roll around. That's fine.
Okay.
He's gonna fall on top of you when he dies, and he's still on fire, and so you're just gonna take all of that.
Oh, look at that. 5, 5, 2 plus 2. 10, 12, 14 plus 1 for the knees. Thank you, Dr. T.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
5, 5, 2, 10, 13.
13 is enough. You just needed a 12. You put yourself out on fire, and you see he looks at you. Is like, chicken shit. Your turn.
Okay. Okay. Again, I used up all my ammo on my pistol. And I don't want to
Yes,
use any of
that's
my
true.
armor-piercing weapons, which are all my other weapons in the bridge.
You can just shoot well, and then everything will be fine. right?
So I feel like the sanctity of the bridge has been
Just shoot
compromised
down.
already. It is on fire.
All of the fires and everything happening in here.
Man, this one seems like I wish I had a flask or something on me I could just throw on him. I'm just gonna shoot him.
Okay, so we're gonna say your first action was prep, which allows you to roll a skill roll and then draw a different weapon, which is what you're doing.
Mhm.
Now it's your second action. So what are you doing with your second?
I'll just shoot
Sighted.
him.
Okay, sighted
Yeah.
shot. Okay. So go ahead and roll your attack. Add your reflexes from sighted. Range isn't an
Ooh,
issue.
My reflexes are now 4, so I've got a freaking. So I've got a plus 11 on this.
Just throw a grenade.
Wow.
Just throw a grenade. It's fine. It's just
Yeah.
a bridge. You're just
So
between star
10,
systems. It's fine.
11. So I've got an 11 plus an 11, 22. No
22
sixes,
will hit.
though.
Of course. You got sixes as well?
No sixes.
Okay,
Just
so what's
I had
the
a
total,
ridiculous bonus to hit.
what's the total endurance loss?
9.
9. Okay. All right, puts him down to 3 endurance.
3 left.
That's you still have to get through his durability, which
I know.
he hasn't taken any damage of yet. So, just saying.
Somebody go help Kill.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is you guys have neutralized one of the astrometrics. Airlock, Zatek. So we're going to break. I'm going to break because you guys have won the fight. Seems pretty clear. So we'll say Zatek. You probably struggle a bit with trying to suppress the primal urges of just sort of subsuming this guy, just oozing on him, and at a certain point, maybe he'll just like lose so much blood that he'll just die out. By the time you kind of get your faculties back and try to decouple, you realize like the ship has decoupled. Like you look out the airlock and you can see it's gone, but that few beats of you being distracted was enough for the ship that was attached to you to kind of to break off. I'll assume Maya and Jita and Dr. T will charge eventually, and you'll be able to put this guy down. He is going to take was it 9? He's going to take 9 points of endurance damage at the start of his turn, and since you reduced him to 3 endurance, is literally exactly enough to kill him before he gets to go.
Ooh.
So as he reaches back to fire again, like as he tries to contort the arm, he just falls at that point, and he is just this charred flesh on the ground.
Oh no, hey, buddy, it's okay. It's okay. Just before you go, just know this. Zion's a lie.
His arm is kind of tether, and he'll sort of kind of pull you in, and he'll say, "The things I've seen." Yeah. And then he'll fall.
All right, maybe that was a bit much.
We will
I
say
stand by
that
it.
what happens next. Zion's a lie doesn't even really make sense. Zion is like no.
He put me on fire. I'm pissed. Okay.
It's like to say ancient Rome didn't exist. What are you talking about?
Sometimes when people burn you, you say things just to be hurtful.
By the time you guys get your systems back on, you get your communications back up, you get your lights back on, you get your jump drive repaired, all of which you're able to do, you'll notice that you have in your ship two dead Nephilim, like tenebrous Nephilim, 3 like remnant, like sort of genetically mutated types. And whatever ship that had coupled with you has since jumped off and jumped it away. By the time you get all your stuff back. Now, it's going to take like a couple hours to sort of make repairs to the ship, to the jump drive, to your communications and things like that. But Jita, you've already kind of plotted the course. And so what we'll say is, we'll do like healing rolls and stuff later, but what we'll say is you're able to effectively get yourselves back into jump space at this point. Like looking around, you can tell just from the residue that this other ship is doing the same thing you are. You can tell, Jita, just from doing like the math, that the sort of the volume of ley dust has been reduced, and so likely this other ship had already kind of done and gotten away. You will see on their belongings, they definitely are the same people that were hanging out with Regchar. You know these are Regchar's people. Regchar is the one who wanted that crystalline, and Jita, you'll be able to kind of retrieve the shard from wherever you had hit it, and is still in decent shape. But the last thing we'll see is the posh Chad, opening up that sort of silvery portal, shifting back into jump space. And we see this long journey through the ley storms surrounding the Cerberus system as you go navigation buoy to navigation buoy. And because of the data and the info that you're getting from your Volp agent, you're able to kind of like move through them. And we'll pick up next time with you all having finally reached the Cerberus system, and we'll kind of go through there. All right?
Yay.
Sound good? All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, this
Super
was a
good.
painful episode. Fire
Yeah.
and like
Oh, yeah.
2 endurance left.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I normally have 37 endurance, and I really got close to the end of it. There's
Yeah.
so much
That's
burning.
wild.
So much hurting.
Yeah. I have 18. I took 18 endurance damage and 7 attribute damage.
I don't know what you
Very
all were
hurt.
doing. I came out completely fine.
Yeah, me too. We just like redirected all the herd to those 3.
Yeah.
I was in there saving Cheetah. Like,
So
You did?
Actually, no, this was a success because my son and my foster daughter are fine.
Oh dear. You're embracing
not
it
as
now.
well, Daddy.
Don't
Oh,
know. No,
Oh, no.
you are not allowed to say those words.
Oh God. Okay.
Don't
Well, okay.
don't
all
call
right.
me daddy, not fit to.
Okay. Did not expect some Pearl Jam tonight, but here
No.
we are. Okay. Figured that would be the other Mondays, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's close it down. Let's do some closing plugs, and then we'll get on out of here. Chuck and Joe, what's going on with DOK?
Stuff and things. Wednesday, we're doing Dungeon Classics, Night Below. Yeah.
Joe, what's
That's
going on
where
with the
you say
Envy?
things, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Friday, as long as Chuck's internet is not terrible again, we're going to be running Anvia, the game system I'm developing. We're getting kind of like close-ish to the end, but not too far. Maybe a few more episodes, but
Right
it's
on.
going good.
Awesome. Links are obviously in the description and such. If you haven't yet followed the Defenders, make sure you go do. My Trey, where can we find you on the internet?
When I'm not forcing my friendship on these people, I am Miser Plays Games on YouTube, and have just learned how to play board games from Melissa, which I'm very excited about.
So you are somehow going to both cheat and lose.
That sounds right.
Mhm, mhm. Everyone knows Melissa cheats. It's we understand it now. Fantastic. Okay. And then Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
Perfect. As for us, next game, hopefully tomorrow night. We're hoping we're going to be back to Marvel Multiverse RPG tomorrow night, continuing our X-Men themed campaign, School's Out. Thursday, we're back playing Werewolf the Apocalypse, myself, Melissa, Jeremy, and whoever his new character is going to be. Friday, maybe. Friday, Delta Green. We're back to that. We are in North Carolina where it's bad weather they're dealing with. Like that. Yeah, it's bad weather.
Weather. Weird weather.
And then Saturday, Call of Cthulhu, Eternal Lies. We are in Los Angeles. so very excited about Los Angeles. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then next Monday, we've got Monster of the Week, and in 2 weeks, you'll catch more Fragged Empire. If you haven't caught us on YouTube, check out Adventures in Lollygagging over there. You can see other games as well, including Warhammer 40k, Wrath and Glory, and all of our past games as well. We are going to raid Insomnia Night RPG, so follow that raid. Follow everyone you see on this wonderful screen. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later this week. Bye-bye.
Bye.